wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Yep, Charlamagne the God here, Angela Yee. We are the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Envy is off today, but we got a special guest, man. Very requested guest. Highly requested guest.
Really?
Yes. Tony Baker is here.
Wow.
What's happening, my brother?
Man, for the first time, this is debut. I love y'all, by the way. I want to interview y'all. Like, I want to ask y'all the questions. So tell me, how'd y'all get in radio?
Yeah, no, you're good at that. And listen, Ida Rodriguez, I know she absolutely loves you. She always talks about you. So she hit me, too. She was like, are you going to have Tony Baker on the show? I'm like, it's already taken care of.
Yes, that is my dog right there, for sure, 100%.
No, I had everybody hitting me from Sean King to the comedians like Isaiah Kelly. I'm like, well, damn.
Everybody on Instagram.
Yeah, because it was like, man, I want to be on the Breakfast Club. I always wanted to be on it. I was like, I'm doing Caroline's this weekend.
That's right.
Let me just, put it out there in the universe.
You didn't need our help for that, though, because you sold that out quick.
Man, yeah, it sold out. I was like, New York pulled up. Because New York always in the comments section. When you coming to New York, son? When you word is born, son? When you coming? And I was like, all right, if I come out there, buy the tickets early. And they did.
Now, I saw a bit you did when you returned the stage, man, because I know condolences on your son.
Oh, thank you.
But I was very intrigued because I was like, how does a comedian approach something?
Right.
Like this. So how have you been holding up, first of all?
This has been like the scariest I've ever been comedically. Like normally, like I'm the type of comedian that I talk about whatever's going on in my life. And then I talk about like on the surface stuff, like, observations and stuff like that. But then, I always include what I'm going through in my life. And so with that, it was like, comedy. My son passed August 3rd in a car accident, for those that don't know. And then I went on the road August 25th to Atlanta. So I was like, and I needed the comedy. I needed to, keep working and making people laugh as part of my, therapy. And so I was like, but I'm scared to do it because people saw me lose my son in real time. So it's not like, you just see me and like, man, he lost his son, but we didn't know him then, so we can kind of detach from that reality. Yeah. So now I'm scared to bring that material out because the crowd is hurting too. So they're mourning with me. So it's just like, man. So I finally did it on Keep Your Distance, which is a virtual comedy show that Kev on Stage does. And it went well. I told the audience, look, man, I need to talk about this, so y'all need to open up. And then they received it.
Yeah, I
saw some of the things that you said.
Yeah,
too, so.
about the cremation, like, how do I know it's really him in the urn?
Yeah.
I want to know, I need to check this dust right here.
And I thought it was funny, but I was like, am I supposed to laugh?
Yes.
Oh,
That's the weird part, but it's like, there's comedy everywhere. You just got to be able to find the sweet spot, I guess, to be able to make it relative and like funny.
That's what Marlon Wayans said when he was up here. He was like, when you're a comedian, even a funeral, you can find some type of.
Absolutely.
And he said that exact same thing.
Yeah, so it's like, because I'm sitting there and I'm laughing. I was able to laugh like, the day he passed, I'm laughing, crying. I still cry daily, but it's like I laugh at stuff every day too. So it's like. I was like, man, I never thought, you never know how you're going to react to stuff until it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the country, man. I'm from North South Carolina, so we laugh at everything. But I feel like sometimes with comedians, it's like an obligation to be funny. But what if I don't feel like fucking being funny right now?
Right, yeah, yeah. Yep. And there's those moments where it was just like, I guess it was just in me, and I found that out going through that. I was just like, man, I'm still cracking jokes.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. Like, at the funeral, I'm doing a set. I did 15 minutes at his funeral, just like, yeah, man, crying. And then I would be like, yeah, he was always late. So I'm sure he was late to the afterlife, too. Like, God was like, man, yo, I called you 20 minutes ago. What took you so long? I had to put lotion on.
Yeah.
You don't get ashy here. You never know. You got to look good.
And I saw you said that the crowd gets tight, right? So when crowds get uncomfortable, as a comedian, you're used to, I guess, loosening them up, right?
Yeah. So going up there, like, I'll cuss a crowd out. That's the kind of comedian I am. Like, if the comedian, if the crowd is too stiff, I'll cuss them out. Like, you know, because like there's certain
I can see
rooms
that.
where they be like, prove it to us. And they just sit there, arms folded, and then.
I saw somebody bring her boyfriend to a comedy show, and he was sitting there like mad the whole time, right in the front too.
You can't be in the front with that energy.
And
Take
then,
that to the back.
they ripped him.
Yeah, you should be. If you're going to be in the front, we need the energy. Fake it. But if you're going to be arms folded, McGee, sit in the back. Sit your ass in the back with that energy. You be like, look out, man. But with this type of topic, and it's not like I was forcing myself to find the material, because some comedians do too much and they feel like I have to make everything funny out of everything. For me, it was just organic. It was just like, you know, I'd be looking at my son's urn. It's right in the living room. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, how do I know that's him in there? They could have handed me any type of your son.
That's true, though. Yeah.
So I was like, yo, can I take this on Maury to make sure this is my son in here? You know what I'm saying? The DNA.
You know what's so crazy about that when I heard you say it? I think I would have to watch. I know as cruel as it sounds, only because they be harvesting organs and stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure y'all...
Oh, you want to watch the process
I want to
when
make
they
sure
go
y'all
in
get...
the oven.
I want to make sure everything is gone.
You
Is that
gotta
what you
make
want to
sure.
be cremated also?
Oh, definitely. Throw me in that oven. 375.
Man, shut
nice
up,
slow
man.
roast. I want to be slow roasted. Put some seasonings in there, too, if you want to.
I don't know if
Slow
375
roasted.
is hot enough.
No, I don't think, but that's y'all want it to last like a week. Be like, slow roast me if they can. You know what I mean? So y'all want to be cremated?
I haven't thought about it, man.
I don't think so. I don't know.
You want to be buried?
Why do you want to be cremated?
Because we're running out of real estate.
That is true.
So you don't want to.
It's overcrowded. It's like, you know, especially New York. We drove through Queens. It's all cemetery.
But that's very thoughtful of you. So just because of overcrowding.
Yeah,
would
like,
like
because,
to
you
be-
know, or they got to dig up them
Queens,
old
cemetery.
bodies of people that died in 1869. You got to get out of there.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody coming to visit you no more. You died in 1869.
Oh my
Your
gosh.
family moved.
But that is true. I guess it's more inexpensive too, like as far as having to buy a plot of land and having to get a
Right.
casket, because caskets are expensive too.
Yeah, and you dead.
And then an
You
outfit.
gone.
You need an
gone.
outfit.
What you care?
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Just throw me in there.
Yeah, because you have to have on like something nice.
Yep.
And then, you know,
That's
you
a
gotta get
waste
the
of a good
makeup.
outfit. Waste of a good outfit. You
That's
wasting
real.
a good suit.
That's real.
You know, and then you sitting there in one location. Like, what if you don't like the location no more? Your
That's
family
real.
done moved to different states. I'm like, scatter me around, put me in a garden of a nice house, and just
Okay.
sprinkle me right there. He would love this house. Sprinkle me. The owner would come out. What you doing out there? You just run off.
Yeah.
But I was
I'm
thinking about
already
those
there.
movies where they're like, don't bury me, I'm not dead.
Oh yeah, buried alive.
Yeah, so what if like,
You was still alive and they threw you
and
in
now I
the
done
oven.
got cremated.
Yeah. But you did. They already did your autopsy. You could have woke up then. But y'all better start thinking about this, man. It's coming.
I know, we were
I got
talking
about
about it. I
50 more
saw you
years.
post the funeral where he was in the
Yeah.
club.
Yeah, he was standing on stage. And I was like, yo, that's how I want my funeral, though.
See? We were talking about this the other day. I want a
Yeah.
party.
You want us to
Yeah.
have your ashes in the club?
No. I want keep my body for the actual
Party.
game night. I want a game night, though. I
Game
don't want the
night.
club because I'm not a club goer. I feel like your funeral should be how you live your life. A lot of us ain't really church like that no more.
Yeah.
So I feel like having me at the church wouldn't be reflective of how I was living my life. So a game night is me.
Okay.
You know, so prop me up at the table, Uno cards in my hand, and you pay your respects. You put that reverse down. Come back to its tone, reverse.
Yeah.
That's a good funeral right there. That's how I was living.
Oh my
Or on stage with a mic.
Okay.
Right.
Whatever you was into. Like for y'all
In the
would be
comedy
propped
club.
up in the radio
I don't know
station.
if that's how I wanted.
You got Charlamagne in the corner, you know what I'm saying, stirring the pot. So put like a pot here and he's stirring it. Have Angela Yee dead with the info on the guests, like hard hitting
What would Emmy be
questions. Doing an interview, just be over here not really knowing who the guest is, and like, give me your top 5 such and such.
Charlamagne's like, let me take that
Just
question
come
over.
here. Give me your top 5 real estate investments of all time. And so, because that's how we was living,
Yeah.
Or you be writing books and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but that rapper on stage, I was like, yo, that's perfect.
And that's what he wanted, and the family respected that.
I loved it.
Yeah, they were offended that people had issues with it and were like making it a meme and that it went viral the way that it did. They were like, just respect the fact this is what he wanted.
I applauded it. Like, I did a video on it. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is how it should be. Because the church is fake. You ain't been to church in 10 years.
Exactly.
You don't pay tithes.
That's right.
It was just like, why are you in there in the final? And God, this is God's favorite child right here. He ain't been
No
to
matter
church.
what he did in life, what she did in life.
He killed 2 people. It didn't atone.
Going to church online counts, though, right?
Bedside Baptist, it counts.
I feel like my relationship with God is personal. Like I don't need the church and the choir and the pastor that I don't really trust. I don't really trust the Bible because there's too many hands involved in the creation of the written text. Once King James put his name on there, I'm like, I don't know. King James be like, man, take that out. Put this in.
Word.
You can't trust it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just deal with God one-on-one. Because at the end of the day, it's just going to be you.
I was just in a wedding, and I was wondering, do men plan their wedding out in their head from when they're younger? Like, do y'all be thinking, like, when I get married, this is how I want it to be. I want a big wedding. I want a small wedding, destination. Do y'all think about things like that?
I didn't. Like, we think about marriage, but we don't think about the wedding. We just be like, yeah, man, I just want to find me a good one, raise a family. We think about the marriage itself and the family. But the wedding day, I'd be like, forget it.
Right.
Like, it's a waste of money, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like if you rich and you balling, sure, it's just a little night, it's just a little weekend, whatever. But when you got to save up and like y'all trying to get your earnings together, we got to save up for the wedding.
Yeah.
You done spent $80,000 on a wedding. Your salary is $65,000 a year each, maybe. That's a good chunk.
And what happened to daddies paying for the wedding? Remember there was a time when the father would pay for the wedding?
That don't
I
happen
remember
no more.
that.
My father-in-law put in some money.
Did he?
Yeah, he put in a nice chunk of change.
Y'all had a big wedding?
It was cool. It was cool.
How much was it?
I don't remember the financials, but it was
You
like.
remember?
No, I really don't.
Did you make enough money back from what you spent? Because that's part of what people hope for too when they get married. That the people who come to the wedding pay enough for their seats so that it pays for the wedding.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. The ticket
Like
price.
how much do you
The
give
door
somebody?
deal. That's the door deal. You coming to my wedding, you're gonna be $20. Got to make the money back.
Like if you go to a wedding, how much do you give?
I ain't never gave her a wedding.
You never been to a wedding?
I've been in weddings. I've been in like several, but like going to a wedding, like Takara. Y'all know Takara? Mm-hmm. She's a comedian. She just got married. Okay. I gave her $1,000.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, just because I couldn't make the wedding. I was like, here's a gift.
Okay.
So
that's dope. That's great when people don't come and they give you some money.
Yeah, because I felt bad. Because they were hitting me up. Because it was like, yo, we got vegan options for y'all. And I was like, man, I ain't going to make the wedding. So I felt bad because I knew that was a lot of planning.
Right.
Like, because I know the bride stresses over.
Well, the worst is if you say you're going and then you don't show up.
Exactly.
That's the worst thing to do.
And that's what I
did. If you cancel at the last.
So that's why I came through with the $1,000.
Oh, yeah, you had to. That was that guilt money.
Like, it was the guilt gift. The guilt gift that keeps on giving. Hell yeah. So I was like,
you were on Last Comic Standing too, right?
Yeah.
For a couple seasons?
I was on there for 2 seasons.
What made you do that? Because I've always heard your name.
Yeah.
So what was the,
as comedians, I started doing stand-up in 2008. And, you get on Last Comic Standing, you think your life going to change. Oh, this is NBC. This is it. This is the moment. And then I did it that first season. I didn't advance. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that's that. And then they brought me back.
Okay.
Because, I think they felt like I got robbed on that first season because I had a really good set. And they was just like, but nah. And I was like, man. And I was kind of crushed. I was like, man, because I knew I delivered. Mm-hmm. But then they brought me back. And I was like, man, maybe my life would change now. And then it didn't. So I was like, all right. Cool.
What did you expect to happen?
Because, on NBC, it's on NBC, huge platform, right. Millions of people seeing you. So from there, you catapult that into, headlining across the country. So it's like, it's a huge step. But when you don't advance, and then it's just like, you don't get all that airtime, and the NBC execs pushing you in different projects. It's like, all right. So.
I don't think people care no more. I think it's like it's hard, right? Like, because you can be on network television and nobody will care. Like, I know you had a small role on Carmichael's show. Yeah. And I saw Gerard, on Saturday Night Live this past weekend. He was like, yo, I might be the least famous host to ever host this show. And this is a man who had a sitcom on NBC for 3 seasons, HBO specials, been in big movies and everything. Right. So I don't know if people care about that. Stuff no more.
The dynamic has changed because you really don't need. There's people on. They've been on the show for 8 seasons. Mm-hmm. You go to their social media, maybe they got 50K followers or whatever, and people just under the radar. Like if you're black on like a CBS sitcom, you on there for 8, 9 seasons. But it seems like you're not even popping on social media because,
that's right.
Once the black community gets you,
that's right.
They can make you look like a superstar.
No, you're right.
And so, but you getting good money. You getting that CBS money. But in terms of like celebrity, it's just
nobody cares.
Right. And so for us, building now, I just built a social media platform to where I could bring people to comedy clubs now. So. I've superseded the need for NBC. Granted, I would still love a sitcom, but I put it in the people's hands now to where I don't need Hollywood to eat, and so that's a beautiful place to be in. So it's like the Village was like, yo, Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
They definitely, everybody. I was like, why didn't he just ask us?
Because I didn't think y'all knew me.
Yeah, of course.
None of y'all. You just follow me.
Well, yeah, you don't follow me though, so.
I followed you back.
But you didn't follow me either.
Well, I was watching from the distance.
I follow you.
No, you don't either. None of y'all do. None of the
Why the hell I be seeing your video?
I don't know. But
that's why I didn't think y'all knew me,
because it was like,
because you DM me. And I saw it. I could. That's the only reason I could see it. If
I just sent that the other day, man.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't check my DMs. I can only see it from people who I follow. Let me see. I'm gonna look right now.
Cue it up, man.
All right. So look, you guys just talked about Gerard Carmichael. Did you watch his special?
Yes.
Rothania. What did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't laugh a lot, but I loved it. I'm for real.
No, it
was.
Because it was like a community gathering where he's interacting with the audience.
It felt like he wasn't forcing the jokes. He wasn't forcing the comedy. It was like you can laugh or you can not. When he came out, I feel like the laughter revved up after that. So there was some good things in there, but it felt very personal. It felt like a conversation. And there was a moment in there that hit me personally when he said his mom was silent.
Right.
So that hit me personally because I feel like when I lost my son, my dad and my oldest brother, they just fell back. And I was just like, yo. And I told him, I was like, yo, y'all don't have to give me space here. Like, I need y'all around. They was like, yeah, we hear you, but we going to give you space anyway.
You know why, man? It's so difficult when you have a loved one and they lose somebody really close to them because you don't know how to show up for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You let them know I'm here for you if you need me.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to show up for you. It's weird, man. It's strange.
And that's why I told him, I was like, you don't have to, when people are grieving, I think we overthink it a lot, and we be like, man, I got to come in there, and I got to hit them with some hard hitting. I got to come in and say,
I got to have that quote.
God puts things in place to where you don't have to do all that. You can just be like, for me, I hate talking on the phone. Like, notoriously, don't call me. And so all I need is a text, like thinking of you, love you, bro. There's my boy Demetrius. He texts me every single day, love you, bro, and that's all I need.
Why do you hate talking on the phone?
I hate talking on the phone.
But why?
Former drug dealer, PTSD.
No, because you got to show up first of all.
On the phone?
On the phone, you got to be there. You got to have the energy. You got to have the back and forth. A lot of people just want to call you
that's real.
and talk to you and vent, and you just sitting there taking it, and I wasn't ready to take it. So now I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now that's crazy to death. And then it's like, you got to be on. Then when you get quiet, it's like, man, you good? Why are you quiet? I'm just, this is all I got. So all of that, I got to prep for it. So it's like, man, what you want?
See, you seem like you would be a phone talker from watching like your podcast and stuff like that. It feels like you would be like a good phone conversationalist.
Right. I mean, I can hang in there. I can hold my own. But if I don't feel like talking, I just be like, that's crazy, Angela. Yep, that's crazy, man. Sometimes Sometimes you just gotta hang in there. You know what I'm saying? Take it one day at a time.
You got people that take advantage of that? You got people that take advantage of that? Like they know what time to call you? Like let me call him like around 9:30 a.m. when he just getting up.
This is what I know people do. They'll text me, and then I'll text back, and they'll call me right after that. So they know.
You're paying it. You have your phone.
Exactly. Yep. They know you can answer right now.
Yeah.
And I still watch it die. I will watch that phone call die off in my hand. I'll be like...
Or if you post something on social media and then they call you right after, they're like, boom. I know he's on his phone. He just posted.
He just posted this. Yeah. And I see it too. I'm like, I just posted. Now they call me. I will watch that phone call die off.
Do you ever not post because you don't want anybody to call you?
Yes. I've done that. So you don't like the phone either?
I talk on the phone. You know when I talk on the phone for real? When I'm in the car, mostly.
Oh, yeah.
Like if I'm driving and I got the Bluetooth, it's easier for me, like while I'm just driving, because I got to be here anyway. There's nothing else I could really be doing at the same time.
You can multitask, especially when you got the good, when you talking to them, like it's like they're in the ceiling of the car. You're just like, yes, I told it right. And sometimes you got to, take it one day at a time. I can do it then. But if I'm at home, nah, man, text.
No, you know what I was going to say? Back to Gerard Carmichael, he had these silences that were powerful too.
Yeah.
And sometimes when people are quiet, like you were saying on the phone, when they're like, you good?
Yeah.
But that can be a powerful moment. How is it for you on stage when it's kind of like quiet?
I don't like it.
Right.
I do not like silence on stage unless it's that type of night where I'm just really just like sitting on stage and like I know the crowd. It actually depends. If it's my fans to where they know me, then I'm more comfortable with like a quiet pause and they know I'm thinking about some things. But if it's like I'm featuring for somebody, I'm just doing a show where I got to keep it going, like, boom, 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 boom. Once it gets quiet, I'm like, oh snap, I can take a quick break if I know it's going well, but I got to go out there and hit you back to back to where I don't want you to have time to get your feet together.
Right.
Like I want you to be like, oh man, just give me a moment. Nah, I want to kill you. My goal is to make somebody die laughing. And I don't think I can get there, but if I can make you spit your drink out, choke, or just like, no man, please, or the tears are running, I'm like, yes.
Is stand-up getting easier or harder? Because a lot of my stand-up friends feel like it's getting harder.
I don't think it's getting harder. You mean in terms of how people react to it? Yeah,
because they was like, with the live podcast nowadays, and they was like, people just, like, they don't feel like the stand-up, I guess, watchers, viewers, or people who come to the show are actual stand-up connoisseurs anymore.
Oh, yeah. There's that because we like listening to you on the, on the podcast. So they come in, they don't really know the art of stand-up. So they don't really, they're not always the best audiences. They're just excited, but they're not really getting the nuances of the jokes or anything like that. And so I can see that. And plus, people are more sensitive now and like, you got everybody eggshelling it up. So it's like, it's all these things in place. But I feel like stand-up comedy is hot though.
Right.
Like, it's popping. And I feel like that's a good thing. And then I just hate that people think it's so easy to do.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, people think they can just go up there and be like, man, I could do this.
No, it's probably one of the most difficult things to do on a stage.
Yeah.
You can perform a song, you can do a live podcast, get up there and go one-on-one with that crowd and see what happens.
It's scary, man. And I get nervous. I did the Cellar last night for the first time.
Oh, wow.
I was nervous.
Wow, that's your first time at the Cellar?
Time, yes.
Everyone goes to the Cellar.
Man.
You
and
never know who's going to pop up.
Oh, I've been drooling for the Cellar. Like every time I come to New York, I'll be standing out there like, man, I want to get in there, you know what I'm saying? And so I finally did it last night.
What's the process to get in?
Well, I heard you have to get 3 references from regulars at the Cellar. That's
Dominica.
one.
Isn't she?
Dominica, she spoke for me. Jackie Fabulous did. Will Savance. Artie Fuqua. And Sherrod Small,
like
all
12
put in.
references.
Man, it was like mad references coming in, but the lady was still like, look out. And so Will put me on his show last night. And so I was like, man, so that was finally, me stepping onto one of the stages that they have. So I was like, bucket list. Because I want to come to New York and just be out here for like a month or 2 and just hit New York stages. Where do y'all live out here,
How was
man?
it? I live in Brooklyn.
You live in Brooklyn? Is it crazy expensive?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
It's just dumb.
Yeah, it is. It is. New York is one of the most expensive places.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I live
Is your
in
place
Jersey.
small?
I have a 2-family brownstone, but it's not big like it should be for what it costs.
And it's $6 million, ain't it?
No, it's not $6 million.
It's
I'm not there.
$3 million. Yes.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
You live in New York too?
No, I live in Jersey.
Oh, Jersey.
I'm a
okay.
country boy, man. I need
Space.
grass and trees. Yeah,
Right.
I like seeing deers run through the yard.
Is deers in Jersey?
Hell yeah.
Really?
Man, yes. I got packs of. My wife said that she sees more deers up here than we did when we used to live in the Carolinas.
Really?
That's what she says. I'm like, you know what? You might be right. It's only because how they move.
Yeah.
Down south, you might see them run across the road. You know what I'm saying?
They're a little bold here.
If you in the woods hunting, you see them. Yo, man, bold.
I got hit by a deer driving to Great Adventure once in New Jersey.
You got
a
hit?
deer ran into the side of my car,
Wow.
into the passenger side.
Did it survive?
I don't know. I kept going. I wasn't gonna. It was dark. What really happened was my friend lost his keys on the ride, and so we had to drive back to get his spare keys, and then I had to drive him back to Great Adventure so he could get his car because he had to leave his car there.
Yeah.
So while we were driving back, he was asleep. It was dark out, and then boom, something hit the car. And it just ran out from the side and ran into the side of the car.
Technically, that's the deer fault. It's always the deer fault.
They always put it on the deer.
It is, though. The deer
But he did, because he T-boned y'all.
Yeah.
So, like, if y'all went to court, you in there with the deer, and the deer's like, Your Honor, they hit me. And then they go to the evidence and be like, well, her car got the dent on the side. You came in hot. It's probably a male.
I was scared that, I was happy that it didn't run out and I hit it head on. You know what I'm saying? That would have been worse.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For me.
'Cause the
but
car
I wasn't
could've
going to
blew up.
stop and try to help her or anything, you know.
So if you hit it dead on from the front.
Hopefully it wasn't a person now that I'm thinking about
It could have been a
No,
person. You don't know what it was, first of all.
might have been Bigfoot.
Somebody could have been getting chased by a killer, and then they were like, help, and they hit the side of the car. You kept going.
I
Angela.
definitely did. It was dark.
Do the deer in your community wear Timberlands? 'Cause I feel like they got Timbs on, they mad pigeon-toed, they Jersey.
Yeah, Jordans.
Yeah, they just like, yo, son, let us get what you got.
That's in New Jersey though. They don't,
They don't do Timbs in Jersey?
Yeah, hell yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I feel like
But they don't
Timbs
talk
is-
like that.
They don't talk like that?
Yeah.
They talk like Redman. Like Reggie, you know what I mean? They talk like Lauryn Hill. I don't know. Who else from Jersey? Queen Latifah?
Naughty
You
by
love your
nature.
music.
Oh, I love music, man. I could talk music all
Wu-Tang's
day.
your favorite.
Wu-Tang is my, actually my favorite group is The Roots.
Okay.
But Wu-Tang changed my life pretty much.
Really? How?
Just because, like, when Wu-Tang hit, I'm 44. So, I was born in 77. So I remember when hip-hop got kind of stacked, because I've always leaned towards East Coast hip-hop. And so it got kind of stagnant around, like, the early 90s. When the West Coast started dominating, it was like, it was good, Dr. Dre, what he was doing and stuff like that, but then they were relying too much on, like, the same kind of beats for a while, and I was just like, and I know people going to be mad at me in the comment section. They're going to be like, first of all, West Coast. But I just got kind of bored, and then when Wu-Tang hit, I got in my boy's car, Larone, he was driving, and they were listening to The Mystery of Chess Boxing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and ODB's verse was on. I was like, yo, who the hell is this? He was like, this is Wu-Tang Clan. I said, who? Wu-Tang Clan. I was like, yo, I ain't never heard nothing like this. And I kept asking them, I'm like, yo, what was we listening to earlier today? And so I was like, yo, Larone, man, let me borrow your Wu-Tang CD, and I was just hooked.
You had a tape, wasn't no CD.
It was a tape for sure. It was an actual
First time I
tape.
heard Wu-Tang was definitely on tape.
It was
And you
on
heard all the
cassette.
skits and you were like, what's going on?
Because I grew up on karate movies, as we call them, and I was just like, yo, this is everything. And it was like I'm a comic book head, so it was like they had a team, and everybody brought a different style. I was just like, yo, this is everything I've ever wanted in life. And so they brought me back to hip hop.
Right.
And so after that, Illmatic came out, and I was just like, this is everything. I stole Larone's Illmatic CD
Wow.
because Shaheem came out.
Shaheem the Rugged
I
Child.
bought his tape.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, yo, Larone, man, I got Shaheem's new one. Let me hold that Illmatic. And I never gave him the Illmatic back.
That's a classic.
Wow.
I never gave him to this day.
And your favorite Wu-Tang member is Ghostface?
Yes.
That's my favorite rapper of all time.
Ghostface is all time?
All time. Now listen, I love Jay. Jay is Ghost has always been my personal favorite of all time, and over the years, Jay has gotten there too.
Right.
But my two favorite rappers of all time, Ghostface and
What I
Jay-Z.
like about Ghostface is he'll name people. You don't know who he's talking about, but he'll tell a story and he'll name the people. Like,
yes.
And you're like, I don't know who that is, but
I'm all
he's really
in.
telling a story.
He's one of the best storytellers in rap. I think he has the best rap name, and I wish he would have stayed hidden for
right?
a long
the whole time.
Like if we never saw his face, but that would have been so dope. And I feel like he has the best discography in the Woo.
That's
he
a
does
solo.
great songs.
That's a fact.
I think he does great songs for women too, because he's really good at doing those R&B passionate songs.
Because he not too cool to be vulnerable over a woman on a track. He'd be crying. He'd be like, "Man, I did this for you," and his feelings is hurt. He's still rugged. He's
like
still,
that Wildflower song. Remember that song?
Man.
I was like, first of all,
Your friend,
you can never put that out now. I
I
just
see you
wanna
on the
say.
elevator.
Man, never.
No, not really. I mean, except for the, of course, the couple references to smacking her, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't say he did it.
he said,
Right.
he
He said he
sang
wanted
ho.
to.
He wanted to.
Yeah.
And we've been there, you know.
Yeah,
You
he
want
said
to
he wanted
deliver
to.
hands, and some of us have.
I should have smacked you, but the God said, chill.
Yeah.
That's your wisdom. God, handle that in the lab. Like, yeah, he didn't do it.
Ghostface, to me, and you know what? Early on, when I first listened to Woo, I didn't think he would end up being my favorite. Because, Method Man stood out because he had his own track, and Raekwon was all over that first one. So, but Inspector Deck, to me, is the most underrated.
I always say that too.
Yeah, because every time he would
Super
kick
lyrical.
off a track, I'll be like, yo, this dude.
I bomb atomically. Though.
Socrates' philosophies and
Go
high
off.
prophecies can't define how I be dropping these.
Mockeries lyrically perform on robberies. Man,
Plead with the lottery.
See, Wu-Tang is special.
Yeah, very.
And so, who's your favorite rapper?
Of all time?
All time, right here, right now.
I don't know if it changes for me all the time, but if I had to say, I have favorite albums. I don't know that I have favorite rappers. Like, I have albums that I love.
What's your favorite album? Favorite hip-hop album? You got to take one on the space shuttle. You out of here.
I mean, I'm a big Wu-Tang fan, too. That was my first job. I interned there, and then my first job out of college was working with Wu-Tang.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So the first Wu-Tang album, Liquid Swords, was a classic to me. Only Built for Cuban Links. They all, all of those classic albums.
You taking one.
Illmatic was big for me. I actually, growing up in Brooklyn, I also really liked Black Moon.
Oh, yeah, man.
Black
I Got
Moon.
You Open remix.
Buckshot, Smith & Wesson.
Come on, man.
Helter
Smith &
Skelter.
Wesson. That first The Shining album. Oh, my God.
OGC.
Helter Skelter. Crazy. But you don't be hiding from this question.
No, that's what I'm trying to think about, all the albums. And, of course, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh, yeah,
that was a huge album for me. Like, that, I feel like there's nothing you skip on that.
That was a moment in time that was special.
Oh, yeah.
When that album dropped, it was like I just went to New Mexico State, bought that album opening day, and the whole campus was we was listening to that every day. It was just like, yo, this Lauryn Hill album, we was just like, I listen to X Factor every day.
I was going to say that song used to make me cry.
Man.
I hate that. I don't hate that song. I love that song. The reason I hate that song is because when my mom was going through her divorce with my pops, she used to play that song every day. And at the time, I didn't know. I just was like, oh, mom cool as hell. She listening to Lauryn Hill. But as I got older, I realized she was listening to that song over and over because she was going through it.
That
you know
was
what I'm
touching
saying?
her soul right there.
Lord have mercy.
And that
man.
was a period when soundtracks were really important, too.
Yes.
Remember when soundtracks were like your favorite album? Also?
Above the Rim.
Yeah, Above the Rim.
New Jersey Drive had a dope sound. Love Jones soundtrack.
Oh, come on. To this day. I listen to that to this day when you with the woman.
Fire.
When you with your lady?
Waiting
Oh,
to
my
Exhale.
God.
Waiting to Exhale is a phenomenal
I listen to
soundtrack.
Waiting to
Yes,
Exhale
that
in
was
a while.
amazing.
All women.
What album was Just Me and You on? Tony?
Just Me and You, Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, that was great.
Boys in
too.
the Hood soundtrack.
Before you go, Tony, I want to ask you this. I don't want to go back to your son.
Go back to it, man.
But I know correct me if I'm wrong, a street racer killed him?
Yeah, so they were racing on Glen Oaks in Burbank, California. We lived in Burbank. And so he had just left my apartment, and then they were going to this little peak where you can just go and look out over the city or whatever. So they were making a turn, and so the cars were racing. It was 2 cars racing, might have been 3, and they T-boned them. And so it was 3 of them that passed away. His best friend Jade and Natalie. So they died on impact. Thank God. That really helped me too through this loss, was because, I look for the blessings within the tragedy. It was like, we could have been in a situation where, he might have been vegetative and we had to come to the decision to pull the plug. We didn't have to go through that, or, just any type of
suffering.
Like suffering like that. They said he died instantly, so it was no, he never knew what hit him. I was like, oh, thank God. And so, there wasn't a murder, like they weren't murdered. So that helps me with anger issues, even though, it's still like, man, what were you doing? But I know those kids didn't intend to kill people when they left the house at night. They did dumb shit.
Yes.
But I can't hold that anger towards them because, it won't serve me.
I was going to ask, so you forgive them, basically?
It's not necessarily forgiveness, but it's like I'm not really like, I saw one of them in court. And I was just like, I looked and I was just dead behind the eyes towards. I was just like, it was emotional to be in court because it feels so business-like and final and real. So I was just like, I ain't gonna keep coming back to court, But when I saw him, I was just like, that's one of them. And I was just like, I didn't get angry though. It wasn't like, because deep down I know it was an accident. They were dummies, but because then I think about those families that had to deal with like homicide to where their kids were murdered. And then you got to deal with that anger or even like suicide. I'm thankful that it wasn't that. And another blessing is me and my son were good.
Yeah. Everybody says what a great dad.
Yeah. We were good. Like, it was just like we had a great relationship. So there was no regret or no like, man, maybe if, there was no underlying beef that we had. It was just a good vibe. Yeah. So with that, like, if I had to live with the weight of, man, I wish I would have told him, I'd be destroyed.
Were they apologetic in court, or did anybody ever reach out? Did they?
I haven't heard from the family of the other drivers, and like, they went in there because they gonna fight for their kids' lives as a family. They gonna be in there like, then they probably gonna try to slander anybody up that they can. But the guy I saw, he just looked kind of, regular, kind of down, but not, so it was kind of hard to gauge. But I'm sure I would hope they feel terrible.
I would hope.
But you never know. And I hope, lessons were learned. And, I feel bad for their family because, their lives were changed. But at least they still have their sons, but we can't say the same. And shout out to, Jaden's family and Natalie's family. But
is it hard to feel like, is it hard to not feel like your son got robbed?
Oh, yeah, I feel that all the time because he was just getting started. 21. He was 21. He was into music, so his raps were getting better, because he was always be like, because he knows that I'm very much into, lyricism. And like, so, the stuff he was listening to, I'd be like, man, I ain't really with this, And
like
so,
what?
Like, I don't want to put it out. And then they'd be like, oh, you ain't feeling me. But like, But
some people aren't lyrical, but they have great music, but it might not be lyrical because that's what you like.
Right. So it was just like, all right, this is his thing, because he did like Kendrick and Cole and like Drake, the three. I call them the three kings right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So he did like that. So that's something we could listen to together. We listen to Good Kid, Mad City, and we both rapping with it. But then the other cats that he would listen to, he would tell me about them. I'd be like, okay. We shot an episode for All Deaf, like old heads versus young heads. And I brought Mobb Deep to the table. He brought Moneybag Yo.
Right.
And
that's Moneybag Yo.
And I was listening to Moneybag for the first time through him, and I was just like, yo, it's not bad.
No, Moneybag be snapping.
Mobb Deep had a classic album too.
And I hit him with the shook ones. I hit him with that. And he was just like, why you like this so much? And I was like, man, listen to what they saying. Like when they came out with this, that, and the third.
Eye for an Eye, that was my favorite song.
Eye for an Eye. I feel like, the Infamous is in my top 5 all time.
Oh, absolutely. I saw Revolt TV posted something yesterday about what album from the 90s defined your 90s.
Yeah.
And it was like Infamous, Ready to Die, Illmatic,
Ready to Die.
I forgot what else was up there, but I was like, it's Infamous for me, actually.
Infamous is top 3. My top 3 albums of all time hip-hop. I'm giving the real answers, Angela. She bailed out several times.
I was trying to think because I never thought about but I gave some good ones.
You did. But I still need a solid
Hardcore.
decision. Lil' Kim. That was a good album. So Illmatic is my favorite album to ever exist, any genre. Into the Wu-Tang and The Infamous by Mobb Deep. It's mad East Coast, I know. There's people like, man, you don't like the West. I do like the West, but those three are probably my holy trinity of hip-hop
Because
albums.
The Chronic is a classic album too.
It is. I like Doggy Style better than The Chronic.
Doggy Style, yep.
Yeah.
I think my three would be Only Built for Cuban Links by Raekwon, TM 101 by Jeezy, and probably The Blueprint by Hov.
Okay.
That might be my top three.
All time.
Yeah, that might be.
You threw the South in there. My favorite album from the South is probably.
I said might be though. I'm not sure about that. I never thought about it. But
Yeah.
that might
Y'all don't
be
be thinking about these things?
No, I just got my
That's
joint.
your job.
Y'all don't be thinking about this. See,
You
now
said on your
Envy would have had
podcast.
it. Envy would have had
Envy
it.
would- So what's your top 5?
Top 5 grieving moments when your son passed. I'll be like, man, all right, so when I first got the news, that's number 1. You know what I'm saying? Number 2 is like, you know.
He gonna ban you.
Envy probably would ask that.
Top 5 moments.
So who's on your Mount Rushmore of grieving? Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Finding a crying hard that first day. That's on there. The funeral, you know.
Now, look, I know you keep up with current events, so I want to ask you with this whole T.I. situation,
Yeah.
doing stand-up. We saw the whole thing that just happened with him, you know, in the club. He didn't like what she had to say about the allegations.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think about that, because
So rule number 1 as a comedian, we never heckle each other.
right.
That's rule 1.
That's what I was saying, right? Because comedians don't heckle other
We
comedians.
do not heckle each other. That's just a rule that we abide by. And so, you know, that lets me know T.I. is new to the game because, you know, we don't do that.
Right.
You know, and I was just like, man. And then when she came with the receipts of, you know, what he said to her, because it was just like, all right, because, you know, I like to get to, and I know Tip, like, you know, I'll hit him on the side. I'll hit him on the side and be like, so what really happened? I haven't hit him about this. But earlier with the thing with him and Godfrey, I was like, you know, I sent him a text. But Tip is a caller.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then now you got to.
We on
You
the
text
phone.
Tip, he called.
Yeah, he called me
He
right
called.
back. And I was like, I
That's
can't.
crazy, Tip.
Yeah, that's wild, man. It's crazy, man. Stand up. So I feel like Tip has a lot to learn about just the game that he's coming, because he's coming in from a different field. Like, you got to be aggressive and, like, you know, make the moves in hip hop to acquire the status that he has acquired. So coming into this new arena, there's just certain rules and like.
What are the rules?
Rules are you don't heckle other comedians. You don't run the light. You know.
So that's when the red light comes on. You have like 2 minutes to get off.
Yes.
I done seen him broke both of them.
Yeah. So it's like, man, he running the light. He heckling comedians. So it's just like, man. So he's learning as he goes. And, you know, T.I. is the utmost in confidence. So he's like, hey, man, I'm going to just do what I got to do. Because the pressure's off. I told him, I was like, yo, you have to be mindful of the privilege that you have. Like,
Right.
you know, you are privileged coming in as a superstar already. You're going to get prime real estate comedic slots to perform on. So within that, you know, comes it's a gift and the curse. Like, the gift is you're going to get good spots. The curse is if you fumble, if you don't do well, you bomb or whatever, everybody's going to
knows.
know it.
Yeah.
They're going to see it. They're going to post about it. So, you know, we were able to come up. If we bombed in the Bronx, I bombed in the Bronx one time. I'm going to bring this up all the time. And I had shorts on. I think it was the shorts that I had on. That's the reason I bombed. Nobody knew, just the
Right.
people at the show itself. You know, it's not online. So he has that gift and that curse of, if he does stumble, it's going to be out there.
Right.
Like, this is what he did with the girl the other day. It was a stumble. It was a mistake. But everybody knows
saw
it
it.
now, you know, as opposed to us being low-key and under the radar.
I just want to know who won the bet. Who got the $1 million? Did he actually call her the B word or did he not?
He said it because they had video.
Yeah.
And so everybody was like, yo, pay up the money.
Yeah, he's got to pay.
Give her that money. And so he went live with her last night. They were together.
In
the
lieu
live.
of the $1 million.
In lieu of the million. So it was like, so she was just like, she said she didn't want the money.
Listen, girl, call me.
Yeah, I've been like, I heard what you're saying, and I know you got it. Let me get it. But he did post her, so her followers have gone up since this incident.
That's dope.
So
she stood her ground too.
She stood her ground. She stood firm, and I feel like she's got good exposure now. So hopefully she can run with that and build something off that. But her followers went up a lot. So and that can equal money in this game, the social media currency.
Well, Tony, I got a flight to catch, man.
Oh, where you going?
I gotta go.
Yeah, I
don't like to say where I'm going, but I can say this flight tomorrow.
He's going to Virginia.
Yeah, I'm going to Virginia. I gotta go speak at Norfolk State.
Oh, look at you, man.
Yeah,
man. You're doing good things.
Thank you, man.
All out here, man.
Can I shout out? You gonna be at Caroline's all weekend?
Please,
of course,
yes.
of course.
I'm at Caroline's all weekend, but
it's sold out.
It's sold out. So
never mind.
I tried to tell people get your tickets early. New York pulled up. I want to give a shout out to Kev on stage because he is my friend and he has. I want y'all to have him on the Breakfast Club when you get a chance.
You say he's your best friend.
He's one of my best friends because he really looks out for me and he's like unselfish with his love for me and stuff like that. And he has an app, Kev on Stage Studios app, black-owned app that he has because we can't wait for Netflix. And I feel like everybody should get in on the content that he has going. I want to give a shout out to my crew, Brandon Lewis, Keenan Baker, Keon Poley, and DC Irvin, and Chaz, even though he stepped away from comedy. But listen to the Daddy Issues podcast, listen to the Verbal Cardio podcast, my producer, Sabrina Castro. She's also my woman, my companion, my partner. And I think I know I'm forgetting.
Give me your Twitters and Instagrams.
My Instagram is @TonyBaker. On Instagram, Tony Baker Comedy on Twitter, Tony Baker Comedy on Facebook. But rock with me, man. I'm out here.
Do you mind talking to Sabrina on the phone?
Even with her, like she knows, like, look, I know you don't like talking on the phone, but this, that, and the third, and then she'll hop off. My mom does the same thing, so it's like people know, like you tell people what you don't like. Some people try to force it.
Yes,
be like, look, I'm special. That's Ida Rodriguez. Ida Rodriguez hates the fact that I hate talking on the phone. She's like, look, we gonna talk. So she'll send me voice notes.
Okay, voice notes.
Yeah, yep. So, and she gave me a shout out. She gave Serene a shout out on her comedy special.
Yeah.
And Serene is my son. She gave him a shout out at the end of her special.
Wow.
And I got an HBO special coming out hosted by Marlon Wayans called The Headliners. It's been on HBO Max April 21st. I'm gonna give a shout out to Marlon Wayans.
Well, Tony Baker, thank you for coming, my brother.
Yes, you got to come back again.
Oh, if y'all don't promise me a good time.
Absolutely.
Done. That's done.
Because I got y'all DMs now.
Follow us now.
Oh, man, it's over for y'all, man.
It's Tony Baker. It's The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.